Hello, everybody, and welcome to WarCrafters for January 5th, 2025. This is now Season 2, Episode 1 of WarCrafters. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, here's some really... All right. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmTown and ohmTown.com. And I created it so that I could manage my information overload, and it's only gotten more impending in 2025. The onslaught of information is never ending, and while I try and take a break, ohmTown.com does not. It still gathers all of the information and throws it into currently, well, I'm just going to round up 50 buckets in 6 main categories, and then I filter through it. And along with the sentient AI from the future that I found on a weird USB drive and a little scoop in the parking lot of a Wendy's at 2 a.m. because I wanted some spicy boneless wings that they don't have anymore, apparently. Anyway, they were closed, and I ended up with this sentient AI co-host. That won't give me any winning lottery numbers, even though they're from the future. Anyway. So we talk about the news, and we have 6 weekly shows, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and a daily show called Non Sequitur News, which is kind of a mishmash of news sampled from across ohmTown.com, whereas these shows on the weekend are more focused, more tightly knitted together in terms of concepts. Anyway, we gather those 3 shows on Saturday and 3 shows on Sunday, and that becomes the weekend edition, or editions, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, of Non Sequitur News. But the daily show is Monday through Friday at 7 p.m.-ish, but the way you find out is by following us here on Twitch and here on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe and ring the bell and pat me on the head, tell me you love me. Anyway, we're going to talk about these 5 articles. Quirky space sim, roguelike, mysterious player count spike, gaming predictions, New Year gaming, cozy games, but no farming. None of that bullshit. Everything's powered by ohmTown.com. I'm trying to be family friendly in 2025. I already blew it out the door for the previous 4 days. But anyway, let's get into it. You might be hearing some really amazing ambient music underneath us. It is by Fat Frog Studio called Shadow Strike. And then there's a name. I don't know, Shadow something or other. Anyway. Ooh. It's pretty cool. All right. Well, anyway. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmTown citizens, and welcome to the first episode of WarCrafters in 2025.
Woo! This shirt is coming off. Just kidding. It's way too
so much for family friendly.
Oh, right. Damn it. All right. Well, anyway, let's get into it then. Sorry, error messages everywhere.
That was
from
like
the
first thing you said after that.
I'm not very good at this. I am a horrible, horrible host. All right. The first article is over in the WarCrafters channel. Here's a quirky little space sim crossed with traditional roguelike. I'm always on the lookout for an odd little roguelike. Not me. The sentient AI are just consuming the news that we aggregate into ohmTown. So this is from a source, and that source happens to be PC Gamer. We'll find out who specifically wrote this on the other side. But you can actually follow the links by typing in exclamation point or bang WC. And that will tell Ohmatron to spit out all of the articles, the links to which lead to ohmTown.com. And then from there, you can actually click on Visit the Source. Kind of cool how this works. Anyway, I've already gathered it all up, so there you go. Approaching Infinity is a weird little... has the weird little goods that make a roguelike interesting, says Jonathan Bolding. I've never played this, Approaching Infinity, but there's a trailer here, and it says that the easiest way to describe it is a space exploration roguelike where the star sectors you navigate your ship or with your ship are the regions you explore with your ship, and the wrecks and planets you land on with your away team are sub-levels, mini dungeons you find in the larger environment. So add a silly sense of humor on top of that and a healthy dose of sci-fi stereotype weirdos to meet and or pirate, and you've got a nice little setup for a classic roguelike. Though, as is often the case these days, you can turn off the permadeath if that's not your bag, because in a roguelike, you die and lose everything.
Right? I mean, this sounds like that might be up your alley, though, because of that.
It might be up somebody else's alley. I do not like dying and live, die, repeat.
Right, but it sounds like that's a feature you can turn off.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's kind of my jam. So it's roguelite. So it says, but there are enough Captain Archetypes, starting spaceships, and equipment loadouts to claim for your journey that the author again expects that you'll find each time you die. The half dozen things you try out in the demo are pretty exciting. In a pair of runs, the author was a military corsair who fought other ships for loot. In another, they were a planet-focused explorer and selling their valuable data for profit. This actually is kind of piquing my curiosity. I'm going to mute it. It looks turn-based, which is not really my bag.
But I like the artwork style. It does look turn-based from how it's being displayed.
Yeah, it's definitely turn-based. But it's pretty cool. Each landing instance is exactly how the author described it. It's basically a dungeon, and you move from dungeon to dungeon and gather loot and then come back up. I'm not sure what the overall objective is, because they don't really say what it is. They just say that it's kind of like a dungeon crawler, and you're exploring a bunch of stuff. But I'll give it a try. We'll see. I really don't like permadeath, because I don't like working for hours and hours and hours and then dying. And somebody's gonna scream, "Get good!" But
who wants to spend their time dying?
I know,
and losing all their stuff.
I hate it. Ugh, God. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in the WarCrafters channel. Valve's Artifact, which is a game that is on the down low, but it's so public, it's on the up high. Valve's Artifact game gets mysterious player count spike. For some mysterious reason, Valve's Artifact card battler game had a sudden player count spike, going up to nearly 12,000 players before disappearing in a day. Artifact is a game that is first released in 2018 and is a card game that's set in the Dota 2 universe. This game specifically is known for having an incredibly mixed reception upon its reveal, but many believing Valve was chasing the trend set by Blizzard's Hearthstone. The disappointment and mild enthusiasm in the game turned into hostility when Artifact's pricing and monetization models were revealed as well. This, I thought, was the new game that they're talking about. But when I read that, I was like, wait, it must not be.
But that's even odder, right? If it's an older game and then it's suddenly spiking.
Yeah, unless they're testing stuff and they didn't turn off the public disclosure. Truman 2 put this article together. That's the first name. I don't think I've seen that name from GameRant, but GameRant.com is the source of this. Artifact mysteriously gained 12,000 players, a significant jump from its usual count. The surge in players started on December 31st, raising suspicions about potential bot activity or piracy. The player base remains confused by the sudden spike, as this isn't the first time Artifact has seen unexplained surges. Interesting.
I mean, could it be as simple as some mega gamer mentioned it and everybody went over there?
It's a possibility. You would think that they would know about it. I haven't heard anything, but, obviously I got this all wrong anyway. Valve announced a retooling for the game in the form of Artifact 2.0, but those plans fell through. As such, Artifact 2.0's cancellation resulted in it going completely free to play, with the old version of the game becoming Artifact Classic and the retooled game being Artifact Foundry, with no further plans for development. And in the case of this kind of stuff, stop killing games doesn't really apply because people think it sucks.
Right, so they may not be as upset if it goes away or doesn't get updated.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, it's great that it's left alive. And so not only is it a game that wasn't killed, but it's a sucky game that wasn't killed. Why not keep the games
we can't kill the games that
are fun but not making gross amounts of money.
I think I said that backwards.
It's okay. No, I got it. You said it right, the irony there. So the sudden player spike seems to have started on the 31st, going from 400 to suddenly 4,000 within an hour. And while the number doesn't quite reach the game's concurrent player peak of 60,000 when it initially launched, it's a strange phenomenon. Kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, it is. And I'm surprised nobody has been able to pinpoint what occurred.
That's weird, though. It says the sudden player spike seems to have started December 31st, but here it says January at 7 o'clock. It was at 12,521. But it says...
Yeah,
suddenly...
it started on December 31st and continued into January 1st.
It says, though, that it just jumped to 4,000 players within an hour. So... That kind of belies the fact that it actually spiked to 12,521 in
right,
big.
That's the bigger jump, right?
Yeah. It went from roughly 4,000 all the way up to 12,000 the next day, almost the same time frame. This is almost too clinical to be. It's like they're testing server load,
right, or doing something.
Well, they don't talk much more about what might be going on, but
do you think this will increase players going back to this game?
Well, I'm curious, so I'll probably load it up and see what it's all about. But if they were what do you call it? Kind of preying on people and exploiting the monetization model to a point where people just didn't like it, I don't think this game. And if it's
right, they're not going to suddenly like it just because they think more people are playing it.
Yeah, and if it's free to play and it's not evolving, then people are going to go meh. But there's some games, like people play chess. Nothing has changed in chess except the timing involved, right? So like you have speed chess and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or a
Blitz.
Specific challenge or something.
Yeah. So once a game has its dynamics really well developed, then it turns into Go. It turns into chess. It turns into a phenomenon. And like the game that I created, I hope in 2025 that we launch it. And we'll announce it here in all of the ohmTown channels. Anyway, it'll be a Kickstarter probably. Yeah. All right, let's get going. The next article is over on the WarCrafters channel. 8 bold gaming predictions for 2025. The author, it's from PC Gamer, but the author says that on one hand, it feels like gaming is speeding up.
No. One hand.
One
two
hand.
Hands.
Okay, hold on. Okay. One hand. It feels like gaming is speeding up. New genres can go out of fashion before you've even clocked them. And there's always some new fad or trend shaking things up, for better or worse. But let's take a look at these bold predictions by Tyler Wilde and contributions from the rest of the PC Gamer family. Let's see here. Epic Games Launcher gets a huge overhaul and actually becomes a usable contender to Steam. I highly doubt that. I think Epic Games Launcher is too insular. whereas Steam is available to everybody, and you just have to pay that little fee. I think that Epic Games only allows Epic properties.
I see. Right. So it's not really apples and oranges.
Yeah. I mean, unless something has changed. Okay, hold on. So the big budget Phasmophobia or Lethal Company will finally appear, which I don't know. Well, that's not true. It's a distinct possibility, but I think that the community will rally against it unless it is absolutely amazing in its content, because Phasmophobia is a phenomena, like I said, about, another game, Lethal Company. It is, everybody loves it. It's one of those things. It's kind of like Helldivers 2. Nobody plays Helldivers, but it pivoted so far away from Helldivers to Helldivers 2 that it's like night and day, and everybody loves.
It had a huge following. Yeah.
So maybe they'll come up with something that is just freaking amazing, but I think that independent developers do a bang up job of building something that they want, and therefore they know that there's a community around it. Whereas big companies, I think that they've basically kind of shot the bed. See, I can't say that. They shit the bed. Wet the bed. They've wet the bed too many times. And while, selling 1 million copies at $20 a pop is amazing for the developer of Phasmophobia and Lethal Company, these big AAA developers go, that's not enough, because they have investors on top of the fact that they have overhead.
So many teams that have supported the game.
Yeah. So they say blockbuster games take 5 to 8 years and often hundreds of millions of dollars to make. In nautical terms, the biggest publishers, Ubisoft or Ubisoft, however you want to pronounce it, EA, Xbox, Take-Two, are giant freighters that are slow to change their steer in the face of ever-shifting video game trends. And it's gravitational. Massive oil tankers actually have to pivot based on the curvature of the earth. There's too much momentum in a direction, and it's always entirely bound by the profit motive, not necessarily the technology and innovation of the game or appeal to. It's an attempt to appeal and create a new market, but it's money. They want 5 times what the investment is. So they say 5 years post Phasmophobia, which is still quite good, should have been a long enough time for one of the giants to seize on this still developing genre that combines co-op, proximity chat, sandbox horror. The success of Lethal Company and Content Warning would have been too big to ignore, but even bigger than that is the fact that everyone is playing games through the filter of their Discord friends and looking for experiences that are compatible with hanging out in a voice call. Midnight Murder Club. I think that's over on Epic, isn't it?
So that's interesting. Too, so this is making the point that this is like changing the nature of gaming, and so the large companies should be getting in on this.
The problem that I have with big gaming is that they do live service. These games aren't live service. They're live service because somebody is hosting it. There isn't a remote server that you have to connect to. There's somebody that's hosting the game. All of the big developers, they spin up a server farm and go, you all have to connect to our bullshit. And then not so family friendly. Anyway, Civ 7 is one that breaks the Civ cycle. I don't know. I haven't played it yet. But the Civilization games are pretty much always good. Heck, they're pretty much always great. Civ 4 set an incredibly high bar back in 2005. Then raised it further with several major expansions. I haven't played Civilization for so long. So they're saying that Civ 7 is gonna break the Civ cycle. From what I've seen from it, it looks amazing, but I don't know.
I guess we'll see. I mean, it certainly looks like it's being looked forward to.
Yeah. I thought that there was a demo or something. Hold on a second. Let me... Right? Do. 1 second. We're doing it live. So it's supposed to come out in February 11th, 2025. I've seen trailers and stuff, but yeah, it must be Civ 6 that has it. So we'll see. The technology and the resolution is going to be stupendous. So I think that's pretty much the win here. And anybody who's been passionate about Civilization previous iterations, they're going to love this too. So, but it's $70.
Ouch.
Yeah. If you want the deluxe edition, which I haven't looked at, how much do you think? Oh, there's two, Founders Edition and Deluxe Edition. And just so you know, I've said them backwards. How much do you think a pre-purchase of Civ 7 Deluxe Edition costs? This is the cheaper of the two.
$65.
Okay, wait. Civilization 7 all by itself is $70.
Right, but you said there were two versions, but I guess there's three versions. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. $130.
Hey, you jumped all the way up to the Founders Edition. $130 for the Founders Edition, $100 for the Deluxe Edition, and $70 for Civilization. Hi, Bipolar Cath. How are you? Good to see you. I am astonished that anybody would want to buy a game for $70, but that is the new normal, by the way. It's been like that for a couple of years now.
But then that means like you better really like that game and not be planning to play a lot of other games.
Yeah, and the only saving grace is that you have a refund period. So, but you better figure out if you love it or not real damn quick. All right, let's keep going. The next article, there's more over there, predictions, but we try and stick to a 30-minute window for our weekend edition shows. But anyway, so you can follow the link. If you're not familiar with it, you can type in the chat on Twitch, but not on YouTube. All of the links are embedded in the show notes for all three shows right now over on YouTube. But to get the links from Twitch and the Omatron bot that runs Twitch, you can type in !WC and it'll tell the bot to throw today's articles into the chat. So 13 exciting games kicking off the new year in January, and this is from Kotaku. Another year in the books, and that means that a backlog of season is officially upon us. So you're going to have to keep on playing these new games that are coming out and try and play catch up. If you're in the industry. If you're not, then you got plenty of time. You can go back. Just let other people play the game for a little while and read reviews and stuff like that. So they say we used to get several months for catching up on old stuff as the new year got off to a slow start, but now the season barely lasts a couple of weeks. So bam, you have to jump right back into it. So Ethan Gatch, I think is their name, how they pronounce their last name. I'm not sure. 2025 begins with some of the biggest PS5 exclusives arriving on PC. So there is a slideshow over here at Kotaku, but I'm just going to list the slides. And so these 13 exciting games at the end, number 14, because there's a cover slide. Citizen Sleeper 2, Star Wars Vector, Spider-Man 2, January 30th. The other one is 31st. Sniper Elite Resistance, January 30th. Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero on January 30th. Eternal Strands, January 28th. Star Wars Episode 1, Jedi Power Battles on January 23rd. Final Fantasy 7 Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth on January 23rd. Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist, January 22. And Tales of Graces, what is that? It must be remastered, and they've got something else going on.
Yeah, I think there's some error there.
Dynasty Warriors Origins, January 17th. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, January 16th. Freedom Wars Remastered, January 10th. Wuthering Waves, January 2nd. So Wuthering Waves has been around for a while. Some of these have been around for a while. I'm curious what the actual title of that is. Tales of Graces. That's it. It just
Okay,
says
yeah,
F
but they're coming
remaster.
over from PlayStation over to PC.
Tales of Graces. Oh, that's the what is that? The musical notation sign. That little F thingy. I don't remember what it's called.
Forte, maybe?
I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, they overhaul the game further and bring it all to modern console and PC. The author says that they haven't played it yet, but it has a reputation as one of the better Tales games with top-notch combat to make up for its cliched story. Ouch. That was like the pat on the back and then a punch right to the throat there.
But it does come in a bundle on Humble Bundle, which we're not affiliated with.
Oh, right. Yeah. We're not affiliated with anybody that we talk about, really. And based on the way that I talk about some of the stuff, I might be making an active enemy of people. All right. Anyway, pretty cool. You can go and check out the rest of the articles more in depth by going over and following the link. And again, the way that it works is if you follow the link in the show notes, it'll take you over to ohmtown.com, and the little snippet that we aggregate, it's provided by the source, and then you can actually click visit the source if this piques your curiosity. Alternatively, you can actually post comments. You can actually use Giphy to post like animated GIFs into the chat itself. There's also Discord, Patreon, the podcasts, YouTube, etc. So we're all over the place. Go check it out. All right, our last article for WarCrafters is the best cozy games that are not farming sims. I'm really interested in farming sims and cozy games in general. I kind of want to, like, just when I start streaming the games themselves, hopefully this year, I try and carve out a lot of time. For the last 3 years, I've been trying to carve out time. And my only time that I can actually carve out is the summer of stream, which is when I play games and do reviews and stuff like that. But even then, I'm getting pulled away by mayoral duties. So hopefully 2025 will change that dynamic and I'll be able to play some games. But I'm really interested in cozy games and VR games. I actually have a VR bow coming. So the screen...
For archery? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, archery. Yeah. And I just found out recently that it's called V-Rider. It's a VR motorcycle racing game. Got ported over to the Pico VR headset. And so I'm going to get that here this week. And I'm probably going to stream it next weekend. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And I've been pretty excited to wait for. I've been waiting, like, please port it over, because it was meta only. It was meta only. And
right now it's PC.
No.
Pico. Oh, no, it's
Pico.
It's Pico. Yeah, exactly.
So I got to figure out a way that I can stream it off of the Pico through to the the stream. I'm an idiot. Anyway, best cozy games that are not farming sims. I don't know really why I'm doing this article other than to promote games that are out there, because I really like farming sims, damn it. And so...
Right, the headline kind of makes me go, oh.
Yeah, but I want more farming sims. So Rowan Jones and Mark Samet put this article together. It says, cozy games should be non-stressful, give comforting vibes, and have a calming aesthetic. And popular cozy games are not just farming sims. Other overlooked cozy games offer mystery and sweet stories. Dark and delighted games like Strange Horticulture and Spirity provide relaxing, engaging fun without combat. Strange Horticulture is actually a lot of fun. Let's see what they are.
But that sounds like a farming sim.
It is not. It's you'll have to see it. So we'll get down there. So Dungeons of Hinterberg. You're actually this person right here, and you leave on vacation and end up doing dungeon dives for your vacation in Hinterberg. So Dungeons of Hinterberg is a hack and slash RPG that tasks players with completing 25 dungeons, all of which are filled with enemies and puzzles. This game could expand again, like just go on and on and on, but it says that it has 25 dungeons. Microbird's project is surprisingly therapeutic in universe. The protagonist needs to break from her daily life as a lawyer, which has left her directionless and unfulfilled. Wanting to reignite her passion and imagination, she heads to Hinterberg and starts an OnlyFans. No, just kidding. Heads to Hinterberg, a place in the Alps that has become a hub for magic and dungeon crawling. But it is a place where people go for the dungeon diving as vacation. But I think they show other things in this. So
not what you typically would think of for a cozy game, but interesting.
Yeah. It says this 2024 game is a delightful escape, and it's even available on Game Pass. But it's available for Xbox, PC. But it doesn't say Sony, huh? It doesn't say PlayStation.
It does not.
Oh my gosh. Then Spirit Tea. It has the graphics come across looking kind of like Pokemon-esque. And oh goodness, like Haunted Chocolatier and games like that, you know. So it combines the aesthetic of Stardew Valley and the soul of Spirited Away. Yeah. I mean, Haunted Chocolatier is Stardew Valley, but players take on the role of a bathhouse manager who has recently drunk some spirit tea, allowing them to see into the world of the dead. Interesting. So it's Switch, PC, Xbox. Strange
You don't
horticulture.
need to list all the Xbox variations.
Yeah. You'll figure it out. So Strange Horticulture is number 10. We're going to let me move on a little bit faster here. A little to the left. So, okay, wait. Strange Horticulture is actually really interesting. It's because you had said it sounds more like a farming game, but you're actually, you are kind of farming stuff because you're growing plants.
But it seems like more you're doing maybe recipes or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, darkly delightful game in which players discover and collect plants to sell in their new store. This is beyond any regular shop simulation game, however, as players soon realize this new town is full of mystery and intrigue. And I think it's broader, more complex than there's a potion permit and other games that are like this, that you're basically selling stuff to people, and there's a story, like a sub-story underneath it, that becomes the A story to you just being a store that's growing plants. Right. But you're kind of farming. It's just happens to be.
It sounds like it's kind of like crafting and mystery.
Yeah, but it's chill, and I do like that. So a little to the left. I love A Little to the Left. I actually started a playthrough last year, and I dropped it mainly because I was too busy doing other things. I couldn't play the game at a steady state. That's one of my life's greatest frustrations for me, is that I don't get enough time to sustain playing a game. And then I feel like I just have to abandon it because I'm doing other things. Well, A Little to the Left is a game that is so chill. You can just sit there and you have to organize stuff so that you can solve that puzzle. So you have to move things around so that they fit that scene. You don't necessarily know where it all goes.
That could be very relaxing or very frustrating depending on your organizational skills.
Yeah. Because I know that I've organized, there's one of the puzzles is a whole row of books, and you have to put them in the right order to solve the puzzle. But it isn't necessarily the way that you think it's supposed to be. You have to think how it's supposed to be to solve the puzzle. It's not exactly what you think.
Right, like you're ordering them by color or something, but that's not how the game wants them organized.
That same scene could have like 5 different solutions, and you get a prize, not a prize. You get a flag for each one of the ways that it's supposed to be solved. It's actually a blast. Then there's Beacon Pines. It says casual, cute, and creepy. I've never played this before. It's from 2022. Beacon Pines is a cozy interactive story with a twist as the player is taken on an emotional journey with the cute but mysterious characters. The game is visually appealing with a gentle, spooky music to really draw a player in. And I'm really driven by music. Audio really gets to me. So Beacon Pines has gamers play through the story, but then choose to return to key points for a replay. Unique and interesting gameplay means no moment is lost in this darkly whimsical game. I like the graphics.
That one
It's kind of
sounds
cool.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It has an 81 out of 100, so, and an 84% over on critics recommend, which is kind of interesting. Sometimes they're really diametrically opposed. Then there's Unpacking, a surprisingly touching tidy up game. You have to take stuff out of boxes and put them in places. This is back in 2021 when it was released. Has surprised players with its subtle story, which runs through this simple game's wordless puzzles. Players are taken on the journey of a faceless young woman leaving home for the first time. The game starts in a small single room bedroom, then moves to apartments, and then finally family home. Aw.
I find this really interesting. As people are known to not unpack boxes in real life, but I wonder if they're the same people drawn to the game.
I know nothing about that and the 6 boxes that are in the basement of the mayoral mansion that, for all I know, it's like Schrodinger's cat. I don't know what's in that box. It could be there or it could not be there. I have no idea. It's like a quantum dilemma. If I open them, then I have to acknowledge that they exist, and then I have to put them somewhere. I'd rather just take the box, donate it. Here you go. But who knows what's in there. My gold thong. Number 6 is Witchwood, a spellbinding fairy tale. I love the graphics in this. I love the fidelity of the graphics in this. Players live as the Witch of the Woods, spending their days foraging and crafting spells and potions. Storybook-style adventure is full of surprises as the witch meets the forest's strange and wonderful creatures, also known as New York. So Duck Detective, The Secret Salami. Let's hustle through this. We love Katamari. Katamari is just a big ball and it picks up a bunch of stuff, and every once in a while it hits something and loses all of its stuff. Pretty chill. Yeah, most of the time the Katamari games have a great soundtrack, but is a completely revamped and polished version of the original 2005 game. This was released the new one was released in 2023 and is available for everything, really, even Nintendo Switch. This time around, players have new challenges and shiny new worlds to roll around in. The idea is to start small and collect things in the right order to make the ball as large as possible. Sky, Children of Light. Quite different from the typical MMO. This is an MMO? I didn't know that. MMOs can be kind of cozy. I guess you can be pretty chill about that. Which is to be expected considering it's by the developer of Journey, focusing on exploration and social connections. Sky has no combat and encourages players to fly freely, interact and with other people, and just embrace the moment-to-moment experience. Pretty cool.
That does sound cool, although I wonder whether you feel like you have an objective.
Yeah, I suppose it's just... It says, while not a farming sim, Sky players will need to farm some candles. But it's all about the social aspect of it, I guess, and building. It's not the destination; it's the journey, I guess. Little kitty, big city. You actually play a cat, and you walk about town. Set in a colorful world where players control a cat who must find their way back home. Despite being a little kitty lost in a big city, there is no jeopardy unless the barking dog counts. Little kitty, big city. And then Untitled Goose Game. It's become a modern classic, it says here in the article. Since its release in 2020, the gameplay can be a chaotic 1 minute and then stealthy the next. Being a horrible goose, I guess it says. Has never been so much fun. The new 2-player co-op mode creates a whole new level of fun as players team up against the long-suffering villagers, pull pranks, steal things. Yeah.
And generally be a honking nuisance.
Yeah, geese are real peckers. It's 2 on the nose, Hong Kong.
Honk honk.
Watashi. So, honk honk, get out of the way. We're going back to the front page and WarCrafters channel over at ohmtown.com. That's how we start and end the shows. The show that we're actually talking about has its own channel. All 7 of the shows that we do have a channel, but that's not where all of the news that we talk about necessarily comes from. So you can actually, once you're a citizen, you can subscribe to specific channels and focus on those. But the front page has all kinds of news. Each one of these links to something within ohmtown.com, and then from there out to the various sources that provide information. But that's it for today's WarCrafters. Right after this, we reset, and it's Technology Today, which is a deeper dive into more scientific science, kind of, I don't know, more technology, but a deeper dive. It's some of it is entertaining, but it's more science focused, decidedly. But what we are going to end up doing is we shut down the stream, we contextualize the stream for the new show, which basically means just getting prepped with the links that we're going to be talking about, and then we spin right back up. So probably less than 10 minutes. So I hope that you get the alert and you decide to stick around. You can hang out here in the chat. I'm not going to send anybody anywhere until the 3rd show, and hopefully everybody sticks around. That'd be great. Anyway, see you over on YouTube and on Twitch. I am Mayor Watt. I'm saying bye, and so is the AI.
Bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for WarCrafters for Season 2. See you in a bit.
Stick around.